Parents gift my sister a brand new car, and 2 weeks later, I get a $25 takeout card for my birthday. My sister's laughter echoed through the house like a taunt, the kind that sticks in your gut and festers. 2 weeks ago, our parents unveiled a cherry red convertible in the driveway, tied with a bow so big it could have doubled as a parachute. Meanwhile, on my 19th birthday, I got a $25 takeout card, handed over with a pat on the back and a, "You're practical. Ethan, you'll make it work." I stood in the kitchen, staring at the card's tacky pizza logo, while the memory of Sarah's car reveal played on a loop in my head. The whole neighborhood had shown up, oohing and eyeing like she'd won the lottery. Mom's eyes sparkled with pride. Dad's chest puffed out like he'd personally invented horsepower. Me, I was in the back, clapping politely, my smile a brittle mask. It wasn't the car I envied. It was the way they looked at her, like she was the sun and I was just some distant planet orbiting in her glow. Growing up, Sarah and I were close, or so I thought. She was 2 years younger, all charm and dimples. The kind of kid who could talk her way out of a grounded week with a single hug. I was the quiet one, the reliable one, always fixing the Wi-Fi or helping Dad with taxes. But reliable doesn't get you a parade. Reliable gets you a nod and a thanks with bud. By high school, the pattern was clear. Sarah's dance recitals were front-page family news. My science fair wins got a, "That's nice over dinner." The car was the final straw. I'd spent months saving for college textbooks, working nights at the local diner, while Sarah's biggest worry was which Instagram filter made her new ride pop. I tried to shrug it off. Maybe I was being petty, but the takeout card felt like a slap. $25. That's what my 19 years boiled down to. I tossed it on my dresser, where it sat like a paperweight for my resentment. That night, I overheard Mom on the phone. "Ethan's fine. He's low maintenance," she said, her voice light, oblivious. Low maintenance. Like I was a houseplant, not a son. I didn't confront her. Instead, I grabbed my jacket and slipped out, walking the empty streets until the cold numbed my hands and my thoughts. Why was it always Sarah? Was I invisible because I didn't demand attention? The next morning, I found Sarah in the driveway, polishing her car like it was a sacred relic. She caught my eye and grinned. "Want to take it for a spin?" "Eth." Her voice was genuine, but it stung. She didn't get it. She never had to. I shook my head and kept walking. I wasn't mad at her. Not really. She was just a kid basking in the spotlight our parents built. The real ache came from them. Days bled into weeks, and the gap between us grew. I stopped joining family dinners, claiming work or study. Mom noticed, sort of. "You okay?" "Ethan," she'd ask, already halfway out the door to Sarah's next event. I'd nod, swallow the truth. Dad was worse, he didn't even ask. I started wondering if this was my fault. Maybe if I'd been louder, flashier, more like Sarah, they'd see me. Then came the letter. It arrived in a plain envelope, tucked between bills and junk mail. A full-ride scholarship to my dream engineering program, one I'd applied to on a whim, not expecting anything. I read it 3 times, waiting for the catch. There wasn't one. For the first time in years, I felt seen not by my family, but by something bigger. I didn't tell anyone right away. Instead, I kept it close, like a secret weapon. The scholarship was my ticket out, a chance to build a life where I wasn't second string, but it also lit a fire in me. I wasn't invisible. I was enough. And maybe, just maybe, I could make them see it too. The turning point came unexpectedly. Sarah's car broke down, a minor issue, but she was distraught, like her world had cracked. Dad was at work, Mom was at a book club, and Sarah was stranded at school. She called me, voice shaky. "Ethan, I don't know what to do." I could have said no. I could have let her figure it out. But something in her voice, raw, unguarded, pulled me back to the days when we'd build forts together, before the world split us into favorites and afterthoughts. I grabbed my toolbox and drove my beat-up sedan to her school. Under the hood, I found the problem: a loose battery cable. An easy fix. Sarah hovered nearby, quieter than usual. You're really good at this, she said, almost shy. I grunted, focused on the task, but her words landed. When I finished, she hugged me quick, awkward, like she wasn't sure it was allowed. Thanks, Eth. I mean it. On the drive home, she broke the silence. You've been weird lately. Did I do something? I almost laughed. Her cluelessness was almost endearing. I wanted to spill everything. The years of being overlooked. The takeout card burning a hole in my pride. Instead, I said, it's not you, Sarah. It's just hard to feel like I matter sometimes. Her eyes widened, like she'd never considered it. But you're, like, the glue. Ethan, Mom and Dad always say you've got everything figured out. I stared at the road, her words sinking in. Was that how they saw me? Not invisible, but too steady to need their attention. That night, I did something I hadn't in years. I talked to Mom and Dad. No yelling, no accusations, just the truth. I feel like I'm not enough for you, I said, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. Sarah gets a car, and I get a takeout card. It's not about the stuff, it's about what it says. Mom's face crumpled, and Dad looked like he'd been punched. Ethan, we never meant. Mom started, but she didn't finish. She didn't have to. They apologized, fumbling through explanations about how they thought I was independent, how they didn't realize I felt sidelined. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Over the next few weeks, things shifted. Dad asked about my scholarship, genuinely curious. Mom started texting me about my day, not just Sarah's. Sarah even offered to teach me how to drive her car. Though I declined, I wasn't ready for that yet. The takeout card still sat on my dresser, a reminder of the gap we were closing, one small step at a time. The scholarship became my lifeline, proof I could build a future on my own terms. But more than that, it gave me the courage to demand my place in my family, not with anger, but with honesty. I wasn't just the reliable one anymore. I was Ethan, and I was enough. This story isn't just mine. It's for anyone who's felt overlooked, who's wondered if they're worth more than the scraps they're given. If you've been there, what would you have done? Would you have stayed quiet or spoken up? Share your thoughts, what's right, what's wrong, and what makes a family truly see each other. And